Hello YouTube, this is Matt Pullen, and today I'm going to show you how to checkmate a lone king with a king and a pair of bishops. So the first task is to force the opponent's king to the side of the board, and after that we force it to the corner, and then we limit it to going back and forth between two squares, and after that we deliver checkmate. But we need to see how to do that first. And to force the king to go where we want it to go, we attack squares around the opponent's king. By attacking squares around the opponent's king, we control what the opponent's next move will be. It's rather pointless to play a move like bishop to b2 giving check, because even though the bishop is giving check, it's attacking the square e5. Well, I mean, the black king can't move to e5 anyway, so it's pointless to attack that square. So really, we're only attacking these two squares, d4 and f6. And this allows the black king to go to either of these dark squares, f4 or d6. So the black king has a choice of which way to move. We want to restrain the black king, so he doesn't have a choice. He has to move in the direction we want to make him move. So that is why your second to last move will be a check, and the last move will be checkmate. But before that, you don't have to throw any checks. Checking is not productive in this procedure. So rather, the other bishop, the other fianchetto move is more effective because it attacks, squares that the black king might want to use. So it's taking away these squares, and of course the other bishop is taking away these squares. So I have Fritz running, and I'm going to let black play Fritz's moves, and I'm going to play white's moves. So it says that black should play king to d4. And now bishop to f4 is my choice, because I want to have these bishops on adjacent diagonals. Because if they're on adjacent diagonals, well, look at all these squares that these bishops cover. You can see how this sort of forms a lasso around the opponent's king. We want to draw that lasso tighter and tighter. So it says king d3, and now I want to play bishop to f3. And this is a very useful shape, having the bishops right next to each other. Because if they're right next to each other, then they form a wall so that the black king cannot harass them. And in addition, they cover all these other squares. So, again, I'm going to play Fritz's move. Fritz says king c3 is best. And here, I really can't see any way that I can advantageously move my bishops. My bishops are in a very good place, and if I try and move my bishop closer to his king, then he comes and attacks my bishop. Likewise, if I try to move here, if I try to move here, he can come and attack my bishop and force me to lose time. So instead, I'm going to use this opportunity to move my king into the position. So king e2. The king is a very powerful force as well. You don't want to underestimate the ability of your king to control squares. So, alright, so he says king d4. And now I'm going to play... Well, you know what? Because my king covers this square now. So my bishop doesn't have to cover this square. My bishop can do something more productive, like, say, cover this square. So I'm going to play bishop here. And my king has these squares. So really, we've cut the black king down to two possible moves. So we're forcing him towards the left edge of the board. King c3. And now I'm going to play king e3. King to c4. now bishop to, looks like bishop to c6 is best, so I'm forming the wall again. So king to c3, and now bishop to d5, and king to c2. So here I want to play bishop to b4. You see what I'm doing here? I'm moving my bishop, closer to his king, but not so close that he can move and attack my bishop. I want to try and maintain, this wall of 4 squares. So here, let's say king b2. Now I'll approach with my king. And see, I've got all these squares covered now, so he has to go to the back rank. So king c1, and now king to c3. This square, 2 squares diagonal from the corner, this is the magic square for your king. Here, your king controls all these squares. See, you're taking up most of the quadrant of this, of the board. So the black king only has a very narrow alley to travel on. And if the black king only has a very narrow alley to travel on, then it is quite easy to attack the next square in the alley. So we force the black king to go to where we want it to go. So if the black king moves to the edge here, if he moves into the corner, then it's easier. We'll have him try to escape the corner with king to d1. So now I will play bishop to c4. This cuts off these squares. Of course, his king can still run this way, but now after bishop to c5, see, I'm cutting off these squares, and my king always has these. So now we're forcing his king to go towards the corner. Now bishop to f2 attacks this square, and of course we still have these, so he's gotta go here. Now I play bishop to e2, attacks this, so he has to go here. So now it's time to start thinking about checkmate. Here's what we want to happen. We want his king to go in the corner, and then we want to give check with our dark bishop, and then his king will have to go to b1, and then we want to give check with our light bishop, and it will be checkmate. So let's say we play king to b3. This move makes sense, as we're cutting off the black king. So, if he goes here, it's an easier mate, so we'll go out here. And now bishop to e1. Again, you don't need to check. Now we're covering these squares, so his king has to come here. Now bishop to d2, so we're taking away this square. His king has to come here. So here, we want to just lose a move with the bishop. So we'll play bishop to e3. Then he has to come here. So we have this square now, right? So here is where we give our check. We check him with the light square bishop. He has to come here. And then this is checkmate. So that is how you checkmate with a pair of bishops against the king. I know that I said I was going to give checkmate with the other bishop, but well, I don't know. I guess I couldn't see the end of that sequence exactly. Like, I don't know. Let's say for some reason I played here, which is not the best move. Then he would come here. I would give check with the dark bishop. He would have to come here, and then check and checkmate. This is another variation of the mate. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you learned how fun and entertaining this two bishop checkmate can be. And if this ever arises in your games, which is probably not frequently, then you will know what to do now. So have a nice day.